Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with my Paint a Flower by Altenew subscription. And this image is the iris. And for today's colored pencil project, I'm going to use my Blick Studio's colored pencils. So this is what the stamp set looks like. I am absolutely enjoying the series. Makes me break out the medium that I love. Colored pencils are my medium of choice, and I honestly feel I do not get to play with them enough. So with every stamp set that you get with Altenew, you get an inspiration guide. You get to see what some projects look like that have been put together using their mediums, also what other stamp sets would go with it. So it's really a nice package that you get from them. So I chose my my blue toned mixed media by Strathmore. And I've cut that piece down to be 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp Fog ink because with these I do want to keep practicing my no line coloring for my colored pencils. I think I'm just very comfortable with that for colored pencils to do the no line. I haven't moved on into watercolors or anything else like that yet. Anyway, so I stamped that a couple times, and then I'm going to use my Gina K Moonlit Fog, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment while I'm here. This will dry back, the Gina K Moonlit Fog, even though I'm stamping this a couple times, and it looks very, like a dark charcoal. It will absolutely dry back on itself, and I'm okay with that. Only because I want the image to be the focal point, so the sentiment's kind of in the background. So you saw that was the case for the Blick Studio's colored pencils, and these are the colors that I have chosen. So very bright, very different looking in a way, and my irises are going to be that deep purple and blue with that yellow streak that comes through. I am first going to start with my greens. Please know this video, as you can see, while it doesn't look long, it does have all of the coloring in, so know that you will see everything. I do speed it up and I gab through it, just saying. Sometimes people like that, sometimes they don't. I just like to give you all a heads up. So I'm working with the greens first, the stems. So I'm using a very light green, and again, I will start with a bright green or something that almost looks neon. And you can, because you're going to put layers down. I use colored pencils the same way that others may use alcohol markers. I have a light, a medium, and a dark, and I may even have a darkest. And it'll be different than the color family that I used. So I'll have 3 shades of green, and then I'll have this 4th shade, and it could be a black, or I could actually use indigo blue. It all depends on what colors that I'm using for this. So for this one, I'm actually going to be using, and I'm pulling this out now here, I'm going to be using 3 shades of green. I did not go into a 4th. So the normal way, especially when it comes to a normal petal or a normal greenery that I'm doing, I'm putting my light colors down first. Then I go in with the medium tone. Then I'll come in with the darkest. Then I'll come back out with my medium, and then I'll go all over with my light. I usually work in that sequence. When I'm doing that, that means I'm using the lightest color to blend everything together. I do not like to use Gamsol. Kind of freaks me out when it's odorless. So, and it's not good to breathe. I don't know, those two phrases just don't go together for me. So it kind of like freaks me out. I used to use baby oil. I now will use the colorless blender from Prismacolor or Derwent. or I will use the white colored pencil. Now, my favorite white colored pencil to use is the Prismacolor. I think it's more opaque than any of the others, but I am going to try the Blick here. So you can see that we just went through all the greens. Again, I went light, medium, dark, back to medium, back to light. When it comes to the petals themselves, okay, there's going to be very deep colors in these. The light blue that you see there is actually going to become part of the highlight. So for the petals on these, you're going to see a lot of streaks because irises have that. And you're also going to see that yellow, and I'm going to go over that to blend that out. So for these petals here, because I want the streaks, I'm starting with the darkest color, which is the Windsor Violet. Then I'm coming in with indigo blue. So I've got two colors right off the bat. And then I'm coming in with the phthalo blue or the light blue. It all depends. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of an ice blue. So there's many blue shades going on in this, and even with a green aqua. So just by layering these colors on top of each other, they will blend together. At the base of the flower is where the darkest colors are going to be. Now, as we get into the petals, you can see I'm coming in with that purple and I'm just flicking it out. I want that streakiness. I want those streaks to come through these petals. I don't want to hide them. I don't want to have a complete blend. Then I came on the opposite side with the light and I flicked that down to the dark. Then I came in with the medium blue, the phthalo blue, and just crossed over between those two lines. It's like when somebody uses an alcohol marker and they do that flicking motion. That's the effect that I want from my colored pencils. So I don't want that smooth blend and transition from color to color. I want to see those lines. It's almost like the veins of an iris. The irises, while they don't look right, they're beautiful the way these petals just envelop. And you see all of these lines and these different colors. You can see I have not gone over the yellow yet because I was kind of thinking, all right, what do I want to do here to make that kind of be there but be in the background? Here you can see what I was talking about. The purple that came out, the light blue that I brought down, that mid blue that I'm crossing over with it. The darkest of the purple will continually be along with the blue to define the petals, define the folds within each of these petals. But you can see I'm literally just flicking that purple through. It's almost like that's the vein that's coming through those petals. Here's where I decided I need that purple to go right over the yellow. I'm not going to lose that yellow. It's just getting pushed to the back a little bit. Now for this one here, I am using more of the indigo a little bit because that petal's folding over on itself. So I want that to have less of the light blue than the highlight, because the part that's flipped over, that's the part that's being highlighted. So there's a little bit more of purple on that, and that's actually where I pull the white in. The white is just going on the absolute edge of each of these petals extremely lightly. There is not a heavy hand when it comes to certain petals. Some of them there are, like the areas where it flips over. I do want that huge, that deeper highlight, and you'll see I'll come in with that white. The white in the Studio Colored Pencil set works fine. It really does. I am just partial to the Prismacolor white because of the time that I've been using it. It's just something that I'm used to. Again, you don't need to specifically have that white pencil. Again, you can see that crossover. You can see how I flick between the two areas. So this really isn't, I'm not blending them. I'm flicking the color across to each other so that they're kind of blending, but not. It's not a smooth. Now that petal to the back, I'm actually starting that out with more of the indigo, and the purple's going to help highlight. I want that petal just a little bit darker because I want that to show in the back. And you can see, you can really see it on the camera. The more purple I use, the more to the front the petal looks. The more blue I use, the more petal goes to the back. All right, so that's what we're looking to do. And that is our image. So for our card, you can see that the sentiments went back. I put it onto a navy blue mat that's cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I used my Nuvo Midnight Blue gloss drops just to accent this. So I do hope you enjoyed today's colored pencil, Color With Me video featuring the Altenew Paint a Flower subscription. And again, this flower was the iris. I hope all of you saw that the next flower that's coming out is a hydrangea. So that one will be awesome to color as well. So stay tuned for that. As always, all the products that I use will be listed down below. And if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below as well. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope everyone is still enjoying their days, staying safe and healthy, of course, which is most important. But we can also throw in what else is important. Always be creative, everyone. Take care.